What's going on, my trainer club? Today we're gonna check out Armored Mewtwo, best of the best. Is it worth your Stardust and resources to power up in Pokemon Go? So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, are you getting after those Armored Mewtwo? How do you feel about this new event? If you guys need any of the information, I have the counter guide out for the Armored Mewtwo, and I also have my event tips video that is out as well. And I have an excellent throw tutorial for the Armored Mewtwo if you are having trouble catching it. So check in the pinned comments below for all of those to help you guys max out. So today we're gonna check out best of the best for Armored Mewtwo. Is it gonna be worth your resources, Stardust, candy, because it's gonna cost some candy, to power up to utilize in Great League, Ultra League, Master League, or for a meta attacker because it is getting the new move Pystrike. So Pystrike is a very dominant move. It is the best psychic move in the game. So let's see what it does for this Armored Mewtwo. Armored Mewtwo is going to have a max CP of 3187. So it's definitely quite a significant bit lower than the regular Mewtwo. Going to have an attack of 182, ranked 243. So that is quite starkly different. It's going to have a defense of 278, which is going to be ranked 8, which is definitely going to come to play for us. And a stamina of 214, that's going to be ranked 96. So the attack doesn't look too high, but you guys know that when we are looking at PvP and stuff like that is definitely a good indicator when we have high defense and stamina that this Pokemon could fare some weight in the leagues. So now we're gonna check out what are the best moves to have for your Armored Mewtwo and which holds the most weight. Let's check it out right now. It is no surprise here that we have Armored Mewtwo with the Confusion Pystrike sitting at the top, DPS times TDO at 1283.5. And then we have Armored Mewtwo Confusion Future Sight, which was the previous best at 767. So it definitely bumped it up quite significantly. Then we have Armored Mewtwo Confusion Dynamic Punch, 671, and then we have Confusion Earthquake, 554, Confusion Rock Slide, 518, Iron Tail Future Sight, 479. And then if you guys want to keep going down here with the Iron Tails combined with those other moves, you can definitely do so here. So the move definitely got it a bump, but if we're comparing it to the regular Mewtwo, is at 5,994 compared to about 1,200. So it's definitely different. But when we're looking at what we do with these Pokemon, there's different diverse abilities for this. Also with the Armored Mewtwo being Psychic, it's going to be weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost combination, and it's going to resist Fighting and Psychic. So the cool thing about this Mewtwo is that Dark is going to be weak to Fighting, so Dynamic Punch is going to cover its weakness and be effective against that move type, and then Rock is going to be effective against Bug. So that's something really cool about this moveset of the Armored Mewtwo that we're going to have to take into account as well. So we're going to go over a quick overview with the DPS TDO, DPS times TDO. If you already know everything, check in the pinned comments below to skip over the introduction and get you right into the stats. But now let's get into it. Starting off with the DPS. DPS is going to stand for damage per second. Damage per second means with one attack move combining how strong that Pokemon is with the stab bonus, which is same type attack bonus, meaning Mewtwo being Psychic, having a Psychic move, Pystrike, how powerful is that one attack? Then we're going to take into account the TDO. TDO stands for total damage output, and that's looking at the tankiness over the lifespan of that Pokemon. But we want to take it one step further and use DPS times TDO, which is taking into account the DPS, the one attack with the stab bonus, and the TDO, the lifespan of that Pokemon, combining the two and seeing what the overall output is. That's going to be the best statistical analysis, and then we're going to take it one step further and we are going to check it out with our trainer brains. Is this going to be a positive move for us? Is it 1 bar or 2 bar or 3 bar? And then we're going to look at PvP to see how this Pokemon sits and what is in your best recommendation for it. So starting off, DPS Armored Mewtwo, let's check it out right now. Sitting at the top, we have Mewtwo, like we just talked about, Confusion Pystrike 20.918, which is going to be the premier. Then we have Psycho Cut Pystrike 20.884, Confusion Psychic 19.487. Then we have Deoxys Attack Form, Zen Headbutt Psycho Boost, which used to be the #1, but this Pystrike move bumped it out. 19.456. Then we have Mewtwo Psycho Cut Psychic 19.193. Alakazam Confusion Psychic 17.521. Another Alakazam Espeon Confusion Psychic 16.965. And we have Latios Zen Headbutt Psychic 16.546. And then Azelf Confusion Future Sight 16.275. And if we want to go to the second page, if you guys want to check out anything more here on the second page, you could definitely do so. I'm going to point a couple out here, like the Metagross Zen Headbutt Psychic 15.852, and then we can go down to the Executor Confusion Psychic at 15.598, and then the Glade. And then if we want to go to the third page, we could check out all of these Pokemon. If you guys do want to pause here, you can definitely do so. But if you want to see where the DPS for the Mewtwo Armored form with the Confusion Psystrike, it's going to be 12.885. So it's definitely not an attack-heavy Pokemon. We already know that. Going right into it, we checked out the stats up front. It's pretty far down there on these stats, but defense, it's very high up there. So we would expect to see a pretty big bump in the TDO, total damage output, for these Psychic Pokemon with the Armored Mewtwo with Psystrike. So let's check that out right now. Starting off, we have the TDO, total damage output of the Psychic Pokemon. We have number one, like we talk about, Lugia, very tanky Pokemon, Extra Sensory Future Sight, 667.6. Next, we have the Mewtwo, Confusion Psystrike, 654. Then Psycho Cut Psystrike, 653. Then we have both Mewtwo sitting in there with the Confusion and the Psychic combination, Psycho Cut Psychic combination. And then right afterwards, we are going to have the Mewtwo Armored form with the Confusion Psystrike. So the TDO got bumped up so significantly. It's gonna be in the 6th spot overall. Then we have Metagross, Zen Headbutt Psychic at 548. Latios, Zen Headbutt Psychic, 534. Armored Mewtwo without the Psystrike with the Future Sight is gonna be 527, so it got a bump. Latias, Zen Headbutt Psychic, 525. And if you want to go to the second page and pause everything, you could check out some Pokemon here, like Celebi at the top, Confusion Psychic, 521. And then we have Cresselia, which definitely does some work in some of the Go Battle Leagues. Confusion Future Sight, 506. Psycho Cut Future Sight at the 502. Then we have Mesprit. And then if you guys want to go to the third page and pause here, you can check out any of the other Pokemon in the TDO category. As far as the TDO goes, this Pokemon is definitely going to get a bump up, but TDO does weigh a little bit in with the attack stat. So unfortunately, it's not going to beat out, as we just saw, the counterpart, because Mewtwo in the regular form, top DPS. Mewtwo in the regular form, basically top TDO. So looking at the DPS times TDO, I think we can kind of get an idea of where it may sit, but the point is here that it did get a significant bump. So we're gonna check out DPS times TDO just to round it off, give you my recommendations, and then we're gonna check out the Go Battle League and see where it sits for the Ultra and the Master League, and if it is in your best interest to power it up. So DPS, TDO, Psychic Pokemon with Armored Mewtwo, let's check it out. Starting off, we have Mewtwo, Confusion Psystrike, 5994. Like I said, highest DPS times TDO in the game with this Pokemon. Psycho Cut Psystrike, 5955. Then we have both of these Psychic moves here for the Mewtwo. Then Latios, Zen Headbutt Psychic, 2420. So we go from 6,000 all the way to 2,400 right there, which is absolutely nuts. And then we have the Metagross, Zen Headbutt Psychic at 2182. Espeon, Confusion Psychic, 1944. Alakazam, Meloetta, another Alakazam. If we go on to the next page, we could check out some of these other Pokemon, like the Espeon. We have the Executor, 1556. We have Azelf, we have Latias, we have Celebi, 1400. And then if we go to the third page, we could definitely check out some other Pokemon here, including the Mewtwo Armored form with the Psystrike move at 1283. So it's definitely not the premier as far as meta attackers go. So unfortunately, that Mewtwo is not gonna be a meta attacker in the game. I think a lot of us could have guessed that, but it's very good for us to see where does it sit and really try to start analyzing, like, what do we do with this Pokemon? So obviously for meta attacker purposes, do not power it up. But now we're gonna check out Go Battle League. Where does it sit for the Ultra and the Master League? Unfortunately, it can't get low enough to be in the Great League as of right now. The one cool thing about the Mewtwo is it does get Dynamic Punch, it gets Psystrike, it gets Earthquake, and it gets Rock Slide. So the moveset dynamics are really, really cool for this Pokemon. You can use it diverse ability for a bunch of other types of Pokemon, but the recommended moveset is going to be Confusion, Psystrike, Dynamic Punch, and it's going to be ranked 6th in the Ultra League compared to the Mewtwo at 81. So here is the big shine for the Armored Mewtwo, because when you have a lower max CP, although it might not be good for a meta attacker, when you're using it in the Great League, the lower the CP, like the 3100 that Armored Mewtwo is, it's only 600 plus points below the max CP that is required for the Ultra League. Compared to the regular Mewtwo with his 4200 about, getting it all the way down there is going to be a much lower level. So that's the benefit sitting right here and why it ranks 6. The 100% IV for the Armored Mewtwo is going to be 0, 12, 13. So it's going to have to be traded with a brand new friend in order to get the attack to 0. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit expensive, but you definitely can do it if you want. But in rank 3, we have a 2, 13, 15. So this could be with a great friend. So it's definitely something that you can trade. Definitely something that I recommend. Try to drop that attack down low. Keep the defense and stamina relatively high. even like a 4-15-15 would probably fare some weight. Just go to gostadium.club, enter in the IVs to see where that one you just traded sits. And as far as the Master League, Mewtwo regular is gonna sit rank 7. However, the Armored Mewtwo is gonna sit rank 29. So being that there's so much different in the stats, the tankiness, the defense, the stamina, really plays some heavy weight for the Go Battle League with this Mewtwo. It's a really cool Pokemon. Plus, Earthquake's gonna be really effective against the Alolan Muck. It's gonna be also really effective against any type of electric Pokemon because the electric Pokemon are gonna be weak to ground, so you can use that diverse ability. And the Rock Slide is going to be really good against the fire Pokemon. So you guys definitely want to take into account all of the Mewtwo's, see what types of Pokemon you're seeing, and then use it to the best of your abilities. So this is a Pokemon that you guys must have. Pystrike for 1. Number 2, choose which move fits you best. Dynamic Punch is very powerful as well. So my recommendations, trade it to try to get it into Ultra, potentially use it for Master League depending on how you like to play, and try out playing with Confusion first because like I said, it's more of a clunky, slow, fast charging, but very slow turnover in that move. So that's gonna do it, guys. I hope you guys found this useful. Thank you to everybody that tuned in, all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, and everybody who takes their subscriptions to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on that next video. Peace! Woo! I just wanna take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.